We are excited to be with you tonight. It is exciting times. I have Craig van Zyl, the master trader, the master trader on the call, and we will unmute him later and say, but Craig, just say hello to the team first so they know your face.
Yeah, very, very excited to be here. Like always, to spend time with you guys. Always love listening to you, Richard. Can't wait to hear what you're going to bring us tonight. I hope part of that's going to be, I want to know, how did you get to list Dogecoin? What did you know about Doge to list Doge on Altcoin Trader and ahead of time? This one intrigues me. I thought everyone steered away from Doge, but there it is on Altcoin Trader.
Yeah, Craig, thank you for that. I still hold 200 Dogecoins in the Altcoin Trader wallet that I used to trade in, which is in my wife's name, and she continually reminds me that it's hers. So Richard gave me 200 Dogecoins in that account. So cool, Richard, for that one. But without any further ado, we are privileged to have a regular visitor, a friend of ours. We at the Crypto School really calls him a friend, and we're honored to be able to do that. And he's the CEO, founder, the brains, the programmer. I don't know what he's not doing. Maybe he's not making the coffee, but as I know Richard, he might even do that. But he is the CEO of Altcoin Trader. He's the guy that's bringing us this exchange. Ladies and gentlemen, remember last week we talked about the exchange and we talked about the saving and we showed you the saving. And last week, during the course of the week, I had numerous people that I just had to go onto Altcoin and just help and click here and click there to get them into saving. Richard, we want to congratulate you with the ease of use, the fact that you're not locking the money in on the other exchanges. People are locked in for 14 days, 21 days or 30 days. And with you, we're not locked in. Thank you for that. And I know you will say something about that tonight. But without further ado, he's not just the CEO of Altcoin Trader. He's not just the programmer that's bringing us all this. He's an amazing speaker as well. And he loves talking to us. So Richard, you have the mic, buddy. Please tell us, give us the message that you think we should have tonight.
Good evening. Thanks very much, Donnie. Those introductions are always so flattering, and I wonder often, are they so true? But anyway, thanks very much for that. Guys, today we are going to be talking about, is it too late to buy Bitcoin? But before we get into that, I just want to quickly answer Craig's question and tell you an interesting Dogecoin story. So back in December 2018, Altcoin Trader actually listed Dogecoin because one of our technical guys, one of our coders really was in love with Doge. And we actually just did it because we felt we could get more work out of him if we just listed his favorite coin. But when we did that, we actually ran this program where we offered every single Altcoin Trader client that had a positive balance, and we mean positive, even if you had 1 cent in your account, that counted as a positive balance, and you enabled 2FA, you would be given 200 free Dogecoin, which at that time, a lot of people actually mocked us on social media and said, oh, we had one client in particular going, wow, thanks so much for the 5 Rand, guys. In fact, it's more like 3 Rand. But I just want to move forward, right? And for a personal point of view, if you've held your 200 Doge, you've got about 1,200 Rand today. But let's look at it from a company's point of view. At that time, we had about 300,000 clients, right? And the money given out in today's value is close to or slightly over 350 million Rand. So that gives you an idea of the potential of cryptocurrency. What was a tiny fraction at the time is now over 350 million Rand. A lot of that money is still available on the platform in Altcoin Trader. Very exciting. Just a quick little Doge story to kick off this evening's talk. So guys, is it too late to buy Bitcoin? Well, the quick answer is no. Bitcoin's available on hundreds of exchanges all over the world. It's not sold out, so you can just go and buy it. But I guess that's not the question that you're asking. You're probably asking that question from the point of view is, have I missed the boat? Can I still buy it as an investment? Is it still going to go up? And I'm not even really going to address that topic and that mindset, that way of asking the question. Because in my opinion, that's also not really relevant. The only reason someone would ask that is because they want to use Bitcoin as a vehicle to make more fiat. And what I'd like to suggest here, and the mindset that I'd like to push forward, and what I'd like to get you guys thinking about is, at some stage, we're going to have to stop thinking about that. Bitcoin is not a vehicle to make more fiat. Bitcoin is a new alternative financial system that is useful. We have passed the stage where this is a fad or a phase. We have passed the stage where you're like, okay, I'm going to buy some, make some quick money, and Bitcoin might not be here. It is now something totally different. And we need to change the way we think about Bitcoin. Let's just go through a couple of analogies. I wouldn't ask you, is it too late to get the internet? Like, no. If you need connectivity, if you want to work online, you buy an internet connection. Is it too late to buy a car? What do you mean too late? This is a product. It is something that we need to use in our daily lives. At some stage, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency just become a thing. It's not too late now. It's not going to be too late in 3 years' time. It's not going to be too late in 10 years' time. If you were only born now, you will probably mature, and somewhere between the age of 12 and 20, you will start to develop an aptitude where you start looking at finance. And even for you, it is not too late. Cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, this alternative financial system that we have is here to stay. So when you ask that question, is it too late to buy Bitcoin? Question your mindset. You're thinking, because I somehow want to use it to get more fiat. So guys, I want everyone to just now say, okay, how can we use Bitcoin? It is a far more appropriate question. Or even, how do we use this alternative financial system? It is a lot more appropriate than saying, is it too late to buy Bitcoin? Because it's never going to be too late to buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin is probably going to continue to go up as we adopt it, as we start to use it, as we start to understand the value of this commodity. The alternative financial system is something that is here to stay. And it is just a question, do you use one, do you use the other, or do you use both? Obviously, the wise choice and the time frame that we find ourselves in, you can't really just simply use the alternative financial system. Even saying that, you actually can, but you have to be a real fanatic and you make your life difficult. But certainly the wise choice would be to use the alternative financial system as well as the current financial system. Use them in tandem. Start to value your wealth in Bitcoin, because fiat, cryptocurrency, it's like trying to collect water in a bucket that has a hole. At some stage, the more you collect, the more you lose, and you're just going to get tired of it. Bitcoin is not like that. The more you collect, you get rewarded for holding the new technology. You get rewarded for assisting in ushering in an alternative working financial system. Now, guys, I'm just going to veer off for a second and tell you guys a bit of a story. And then I want to show you how that bleeds into my thinking, and also sort of line up some of the things that I want to do in the future, and some of the things that you guys should start thinking about to make money, to generate wealth, and ways that you can actually use this alternative financial system to accrue more wealth. So very often we go to Sun City or we go to Monte Casino and we go to places like this. And we normally get, well, I normally get, when you go to Night Out for Two or any of these events, you normally get a free gambling voucher. So you'll get 100 Rand or 50 Rand that is free to spend at the casino. And a lot of the time, in fact, all of the time, I never spend that 50 Rand. And people go, but Richard, look, I know you're against gambling and I know gambling's not good, but you've got nothing to lose. It's not even your money. Why don't you just take that 50 Rand and throw it in? And I always say to them, guys, I'm not afraid of losing it. It's not my money. What terrifies me is, what if I win? Now take a second to understand my logic here. If I win, most people say, that's great, you won, you got money. I say, no, it's not great. What that does is that imprints on my mind that I can get money from an establishment. It imprints to me that a gambling establishment can give me money. And should I fall on hard times, should I become desperate, in the back of my mind, I know, hey, if you gamble, you can get money. And I don't want to be preloaded subconsciously or consciously with the idea that this is a possible alternative. Now, the reason that I've told you that story is because, just like I've said, cryptocurrency and Bitcoin has just become a thing for me. It is now no longer a new thing. It is just simply a thing. In the same way, what is becoming a thing for me, and a year ago it was a new thing, but it is becoming a thing, and I'm constantly cautioning myself, is DeFi, or staking coins. Because my mind is seeing through daily interaction that you can earn money, in most cases, hundreds of % on your cryptocurrency through sensible staking, sensible liquidity mining. And that is becoming a thing, very much like what I was concerned about with gambling, where I would start to identify this as a way where I could possibly get money. I know I can get money on a daily basis from DeFi. Now, I want to take the negative connotation off from that, because I don't think it's a negative thing. I think it is an extremely positive thing. But the reason I'm illustrating that story is because I am doing it cautiously. I'm not saying that I'm not using irresponsible amounts to generate this income, but it is becoming a thing that works on a daily basis. And what I'm going to do is I'm now going to go into some altcoin trader news. But the reason that I'm also sort of highlighting is because I want to encourage people to start thinking about generating wealth with DeFi. Altcoin Trader is going to be launching a lot of these coins. I mean, I am very bullish and very positive on the Binance chain and the opportunities that are currently available on the Binance chain. The Ethereum chain is also very good, and you have the ability to generate huge amounts of money. But unfortunately, with the high fees, unless you are a big player in the space, you really have to invest considerable sums, because otherwise you just simply won't make the fees back. Unlike Binance Coin, where you can simply invest tiny amounts of money and you can start generating an income. So maybe in a month's time or in a couple of weeks' time, we can come back on here and we can start talking about practical ways to generate monthly, daily finances through DeFi staking. And then maybe you, like me, will start to understand that this is just a thing. You can make money. You should be making money. So not only are you saving, but you're also generating that passive income. And guys, it's past the stage of being possible. It's now at the stage where it's just a thing. It happens. There are millions of people doing it. And quite honestly, it's a crying shame that not everyone is able to tap into this and actually use this as a way to make money. A lot of people that I've dealt with, a lot of people that I've showed, a lot of people that I've worked with have actually got to the point where their DeFi money starts to outperform their salaries, especially low salary earners. And they're going, I just need to look at finances different. Alternative financial education, wisdom, and system are all now in play. Okay, guys, we're going to go on to a little bit of altcoin trader news, because as you know, with altcoin trader, there's always a lot of things happening. We are very active, very energetic. We're trying to always bring out new, exciting things. Let's start with a bit of negative news. A lot of you might have noticed that our website is battling, especially in peak times, and we are really getting a lot more adoption. We never anticipated the amount of clients that are currently on altcoin trader on a daily basis. The good news around that is that sometime next week, we're still trying to coordinate the dates. We are going to be upgrading the entire server, the operating system, and a lot of the functionality and the core functionality of the website. So you can expect the website to go down sometime next week, possibly for up to 6 to 8 hours. And then unless we manage to get things up and running in that timelessly manner, it could be as long as 24 hours. I know that's scary, but guys, we have to do this. We need to get our site onto a platform that can perform a lot faster, that we can accommodate a lot more people. So sometime next week, please, I'm sure there's going to be all types of rumors about what's happening. We are preparing now. We have been preparing for the last 3 weeks. We're hoping that this will take place. It'll be a 6-hour upgrade that'll take place during the evening when most people aren't even online. But if it does run over, you can expect Altcoin Trader to be down for a couple of hours. Bear with us. You will have ample notice. There's going to be notice in social media and everything. Every exchange has to go through this from time to time. Bear with us when that happens. A lot of positive feedback, guys, on the new reduced fees, that 0.1% trading fees. We really are getting absolutely positive feedback from the community. So thank you very much for that. A little bit of feedback from EasySafe. At our last count, we have got, and I'm giving you gross total of all the coins combined, we've got over 360 million Rand invested in EasySafe. I and my company have the absolute pleasure of paying the community over 1.8 million Rand per month in interest. So guys, this is actually very humbling for every one of us at Altcoin Trader, because although we are not able to help everyone in all situations, we can only start with something small, and just the ability to know that we are stimulating the economy, stimulating the crypto community to the tune of 1.8 million per month, as I said, is very humbling. We have bigger goals. We have more positive goals. We want to get to a stage, and this has been a dream and a vision of mine for a long time, to get to a point where we are paying out 10 million plus to the community per month, and we're hoping to achieve that hopefully in 2022. So guys, if you don't know about EasySafe, it is probably the easiest way to earn interest on your cryptocurrency. There's no lock-in period, there's no fees, and you can you still retain custody of all those coins. The upside is all there for you. A lot of people asking questions, still not understanding it. But if Bitcoin goes up in value, do I still get the upside? Yes, of course you do. If the interest goes up in value, yes, of course you do. If you want to trade the coin, you don't have to pay fees to unstake it. You just simply move it out, trade it. Whether you've made a profit or not, you can move it back and continually earn. You can claim your interest and compound it. So guys, a very, very positive feedback from the community, and a product that we are, to say the least, extremely proud of. EasyLoans is coming out in the very near future. I don't have a date on that. Obviously, this massive upgrade that we've had to do on our site has taken away from a lot of our technical skills. So EasyLoans, unfortunately, has been put on a bit of a back burner. But that is a loaning system, once again, with no fees, no lock-in periods, no repayment schedules, and no terms on the loans, no credit checks. You will be given the finances and the loaned money. If you have the collateral, it's your money. We are very passionate about the fact that we do not work with your money. You are able to extract that money, leverage it, take the loan, and do what you think is best for you and your family to earn or to save with that. Okay, we are considering new coins for the EasySafe platform. I think it goes without saying that the next obvious choice would probably be Polkadot, because staking rewards for Polkadot are quite high, which gives us the ability to make good returns on Polkadot, and then, of course, return that back to the community. And then the final thing is that on the 4th of May, and this deadline is quite tight for us, guys, we are really working to achieve it, we will be launching Binance Coin on our platform, BNB. But in addition to that, we are going to allow you to deposit Binance Ethereum into the Altcoin Trader account. You're not going to see it as a separate coin. So if you put in Binance Ethereum or normal Ethereum, it will show in your Ethereum balance. And then, of course, if you want to exit onto the Binance Smart Chain with your Ethereum, you will be able to withdraw either your existing Ethereum or new Ethereum straight out onto the Binance Coin. And that bleeds into us starting to teach how you can generate wealth on the Binance chain. And then the final thing that I want to say tonight is that we're going to also be moving the XZAR token onto the Binance chain. So it is then going to become a multi-chain cryptocurrency where you can use it on PancakeSwap. You can trade it, you can arbitrage there, and you can also use it in some of the other decentralized applications on the Binance chain. If all this DeFi and Binance chain and Ethereum chain sounds complicated to you guys, don't sell yourself short. It's very easy to use. It's becoming simpler and simpler, and there's good returns to be made. So rather than going, oh, I don't understand all this computer stuff, I just can't do it, rather take an attitude of, I might not understand this now. I'm going to invest a little bit of time because I know there's returns to be made. And remember that you've got a lot of people in this community that are there to help you out. I will be putting out videos. We'll be doing talks like this, and there is profits to be made. So you don't have the excuse or the cop out or the way to just say, oh, it's too complicated, I can't do it. Guys, give yourself more credit. Let's do this. Let's all start earning money as South Africans, as a community. It's easy. It's possible. We have an amazing opportunity. How long this ridiculous returns in DeFi is going to be around, I cannot say. But what I can say is if you are not taking advantage of it, you are absolutely crazy. Guys, that's pretty much what I've got for you tonight. I hope that it does inspire you in some way. I hope it switches some lights on, and I hope it gives you that enthusiasm and that passion to start researching and start getting involved in this absolutely amazing space that we are in. Thanks very much, Donnie.
Thank you, Richard. And wow, what an amazing message. Thank you very much. As I said in the beginning, and you said maybe it's not true, but it's 100% true. You just proved it again, that we love having you here. And we're thankful for what you're doing to our community. Jason, how does it get better than this? Please give us a reply there on what Richard has told us with all the stuff that he announced with the Binance chain. I mean, it will be fantastic if we can start moving our Ethereum from altcoin trader to Binance. I mean, Jason, I will shut up.
Donnie, it's altcoin traders definitely becoming a world-class exchange. Really, really. The amount of coins have been listing, as Richard, the easy swap there. Yeah, it really is. But I've got a question for Richard, and I've been dying to ask him this question. What's his thoughts about that tweet that came out yesterday around the US Treasury wanting to charge several financial institutions for money laundering using crypto sources? I don't know if you saw it yesterday, Richard.
Jason, I did look at that tweet, and I've considered it, and I don't give that tweet much credibility. First of all, it's very vague. It's unknown sources, and it seems unlikely at best, because the way we know the US government, they very seldom roll out multiple cases on multiple institutions. They're normally specific, and they target one at a time. So I have, and I hope I'm not making a mistake here, but I have dismissed that tweet as, a FUD, and I haven't given it much credibility. I don't think that the sources are credible, and I'm not even paying any attention to it.
Awesome. Thank you, Richard. And Richard, just a word or two about the South African banks. Are the banks like FNB and Absa still in a fighting mode, or what's the situation with regards to the banks in general? I personally think they should stay out of crypto because they've chosen where they wanted to go, and we just continue with what we have. But maybe it is a question in the chat box. Maybe just one word on it without too much.
I think that the banks are actually starting to understand that cryptocurrency is here to stay. Back to that question, is it too late to buy crypto? Well, the question is irrelevant because it is an alternative financial system. I would like to make a prediction which could land me in a lot of trouble, but it's just my nature to do these type of things. I don't think that it will be long before FNB take crypto exchanges, especially credible crypto exchanges like Altcoin Trader and the other top two guys, and we'll be banking with them again. Could be wrong, guys. There's not much that substantiates this rumor, but it is what I am seeing. And I think that the banks, the South African government, have got a positive attitude about crypto. They really have no choice, but We are dealing with the regulators. We had a meeting last week with the regulators. They are not negative against crypto. They are not trying to roll out laws and make rules that make things difficult. There's a couple of nigglies and there's a couple of problems that the exchanges and the industry players have with the regulators. But guys, they are willing to listen. And I'd like to just say something positive about South Africa. We are dealing with highly intelligent financial people. We're not dealing with, like the picture that we all sort of talk around with Bryce. Oh, those guys are... We are dealing with intelligent guys that are making decisions that have our country's best economic, wealth at heart. So I think we're in good hands, and I'm positive about that.
Awesome. Thank you, Richard. I really appreciate that. And you expanded more. And I know you have the answers, and I know that you on the front or facing the regulator regularly. So thank you for answering that. Craig, without further ado, please, buddy, unmute yourself. I know you have a load of things that you would like to add or say or ask. You have Richard now. Go for it.
You know me, I always ask lots of questions, but I'm going to try and leave a lot of them for other members that are here tonight. But Richard, I do want to ask you one thing. I've noticed over the last period, and I guess it's been happening slowly, but I just suddenly, it became a big reality to me that the arbitrage difference on Bitcoin in South Africa versus the US price, let's say on Binance, is narrowing. So, it used to be so lacquer because you used to take your Bitcoin from Binance, bring it to altcoin trader, and the price in rands was so much more than if you just used the rand dollar exchange rate. Now that gap is narrowing. And have you got any idea as to why that? Because that gap's been there for years. Since ever I started, there was always a good 10%. Bitcoin was 10% higher here than if you took the dollars. Have you got any reasons to why that's happening and what's causing it?
Yeah, Craig, that is a very good question. And it's a question that we've anticipated for a long time. And I think in an ideal world, there really should be no gap. So when crypto initially came out, we had a gap of 25 to 30%. And I know a lot of people in the early days made a lot of money with that. But even the South African regulators have said that there should be no gap, right? We should have the same price in South Africa that we have internationally. But to answer your question in a broad way, it really, and this is my answer, this is what I believe, it has boiled down to people, arbitrageurs, developing more efficient ways of getting capital out of South Africa. So once that happens, they've got better mechanisms. They can get more money out of South Africa, but we are not losing that money as an economy. We're not losing that money as a country because that money is coming back in crypto. So really, as these mechanisms become more and more efficient, that gap is going to eventually disappear. It's really, that gap is indicative of the how difficult it is to get money out of South Africa. There's no other reason for that gap. So it can become a high-level discussion, but I think that as people know, they see their opportunity, they can get money out of the country, they can flatten that margin.
I suppose, so basically more liquidity coming in because they're allowed to get their rands out, as it were, which brings more Bitcoin in.
Correct.
Because it always seemed like there was an insatiable demand for Bitcoin in South Africa,
And there still is. I think a lot of people are buying, but that opportunity that was basically free money, as the institutions start looking at it, as the wealthy businessmen, a lot of people that knew about it weren't wealthy, and a lot of sort of high net worth individuals were not happy to give their money over to these guys to exercise this arbitrage. But now, as these guys are starting to see, okay, this is actually something that's real, they're willing to let that money siphon down, and that gap is just getting smaller. We see that on a daily basis. A lot of people actually helping others to get their million out of the country and to make the profits on that. But as you say, and I personally think we should get to a flat level. Water always becomes flat, so it should be flat.
I agree. It should be flat. It was just lacquer while it lasted.
Absolutely.
It's all from us, Donnie.
Cool. Thank you, Craig. Any one of the other co-hosts? I have different co-hosts here. We have Lee, the master trader, on here. Lee, I don't know if you have a question. We have Cole. Lee, I see that you're unmuted. Go, buddy.
Good evening, everybody. How are you?
Cool.
Good. Richard, good evening. How are you?
I'm well and you, Lee.
Good, thanks. Yeah, I had a question. I'm really interested about this DeFi loan, but what would be your strategy in a bear market?
So, Lee, that is a good question. And remember that the amazing power of a DeFi loan is that you loan in a stable coin, right? So it depends what you do with those additional finances. So, I mean, obviously buying the dip is always a good thing. But I think what you're asking is if you've loaned a lot of money and you've bought crypto and the price has dropped, now you don't have the liquidity to pay back the loan. And that's where it can become dangerous. Because really speaking, it's just simply another form of leverage, if you want to put it that way. So it's the same as leverage trading. So if you're going to, really speaking, you run a risk. Two options: either put those cryptos that you've bought into an interest-bearing account where you can use that interest to start paying back your loan. And then, of course, if you were that positive in the coin that you bought, you know that in a period of time, it is going to come back, probably go far above what you loaned, and you will be able to pay your loan. But yeah, in a bear market, it is very good for accessing funds to buy the dip. But if you've already bought the dip and it dips further, then you are in a negative position. And obviously, everything has consequences that you need to consider before loaning money. It's not free money; it's loaned money.
Yeah, I think you told that we can also put those USDT or fixed assets and then take a loan out of it or not.
So you can loan against stable coins. That's certainly a thing, but there's not really much advantage to loaning against stable coins because you've already got the coins. So, I like to loan against assets that I believe are going to dramatically appreciate, because otherwise I already have the funds. And remember that loans are 50, 60, 70% of the collateral. So if you've already got the stable coins,
it would be even easier if I think there's a bear market and I want to sell all my crypto into USDT or the ZAR fixed token, and then get the finance out there. It's going to be much quicker and easier compared to a financial institution, no?
No, absolutely. And there is a use case for loaning stable coins, which I'm currently doing, and it's one of the things that we should possibly be teaching here. Is if you loan stable coins, for example, on Venus, which is the Binance chain, sort of it's not really, but you could say it's the Oasis equivalent on the Binance chain. You can loan stable coins at a cheaper rate than you can borrow them. I hope I've said that right. So in other words, you can loan stable coins at 4%, and this is not 4%, I'm just using this for illustration purposes, and then you can earn 6% on them. So that is a use case. Although it makes no sense, you can actually earn money by loaning money. So that is something that's happening on Binance, on Venus. But you can also loan with BNB and then, spin those coins in a circle and earn really good, I think it's up to 28% returns just by walking through that process. Sorry, Lee, I hope I've answered the question. If I haven't, please feel free to shoot again.
So, Richard, the bottom line is if you're going to take a DeFi loan, try and do it when the market dips or on a pullback. That's when you put let's say your Ethereum in, you put it in when Ethereum's on a dip so that you've got maximum potential for the upside on the Ethereum that you're going to borrow against.
I'm going to have to say no. And the reason I say no is because the price of the asset is really irrelevant, because whether Ethereum is high or low, you're loaning a stable coin, right? Yeah. So really, the idea behind this loan is not selling one asset for another asset. So you put in 100 Ethereum, you take out $100, right? If the Ethereum price is high or low, it's irrelevant if you're not going to get liquidated on your loan. It really boils down to what you do with the finances that you loaned. And
sure. But if you've got, let's say, 10 Ethereum at $1,000, and then the price of Ethereum tanks to $500, but you borrowed when it was $1,000. Now you run the risk of liquidation, surely.
Yes. So from a liquidation point of view, what you're saying is absolutely correct. But really only from a liquidation point of view, because from any other point of view, and all of my loans, I have a huge buffer in them because I don't want to, I take out 20, 30% because then you know that you're secure. So in that case, it doesn't matter. The price is irrelevant.
And the key, Richard, is I always want to own the asset. And that's the beautiful part of these loans. We're never going to sell any asset again. We're just going to make a loan, secure the asset, make a loan, and use that money to buy more. And so that's the whole thinking behind it. But thank you for bringing that to us, for us. And I'm just going to quickly share, and I've got on the screen the current EasySafe on Altcoin Trader. And I didn't ask Richard if I can put it up there. It's I'm doing the buttons on this side, so I've put it up there. And ladies and gentlemen, you know what? Last week, I had several people that I assisted into crypto for the first time in their life, purely by showing them that screen. People that were, should I go in, should I not go in? I mean, I had someone over the weekend that told me he could buy Bitcoin when Bitcoin was 6,000 Rand a Bitcoin, just over 3.5 years ago, well, nearly 4 years now. And when it was only 6,000 Rand a Bitcoin, he could buy Bitcoin, but he didn't. And he's now very sad for it. And now Bitcoin is so expensive. I said, well, did you buy 6,000 Rand worth of Bitcoin this month? The key is to just get in. It doesn't matter. Don't worry where the price is. Whatever you can afford, get it in. But don't just put your money in there. For new people that don't want to trade, that just want to own some assets, how can it get better than this? If I can use your saying, Craig, how can it get better of this? You go onto Altcoin Trader, you just buy yourself ADA, ETH, Tron, BTC, and if you're worried about the Rand, you can even buy USDT, and you make a loan, you submit it to EasySafe, and you get at worst 4%, 4.4 on Ethereum, 7.3 on USDT, 10.4 on Tron, I mean, on TRX. I mean, how can it get better than this? And the beautiful part is we should start seeing this. We should start helping people. So I last week helped a number of people into crypto for the first time, because all they have to do is open an Altcoin Trader account, do your KYC, put your few Rand in there, and I'm not squeezing them for anything, just a few Rand that you want, that you're comfortable with, put them in there and start seeing the interest, because the interest you can go and claim at any interval. I mean, it's, Richard, you made it so simple. I mean, purely the little part at the bottom of that screen, and I don't want to share the page again, that say everyday growth with your crypto, when your crypto grow, no fees, earn interest, pay no fees. And then the last one, no locking, no logging, no lock-in. Whenever you want to have your money back into your bank account, you just click the button, you take them out of EasySafe, you sell them, and you can put your money back into your bank account. God forbid that ever happens, but you can. It is possible. And we have someone on the call, Richard, who transferred money into his Altcoin Trader account minutes before the call, and asked me if I can help him to buy his first crypto and just fund something. He just want to do the first transaction. I said, yes, tomorrow morning when the money arrives, please talk to me, we can Zoom. When we started this call, he sent me a WhatsApp and he said, hey, can we Zoom now? He's on the call, but he's got his money in his account. He wants you to quickly help him to buy. I'm just joking, but his money is in his account, because that's how simple it is. That's really how simple it is. It's an easy onboarding process. And I don't know, Richard, why do you have 6 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon to get your money back into your bank account whenever you sell out, when you liquidate? Where did you get those hours? Where does that come from?
I'm not. You mean the withdrawal times?
Yeah.
So
if I withdraw within those hours, it's quicker than 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
So, Donnie, there's a lot of restrictions and a lot of things behind the scenes. Like, for example, some people that deposit money, Standard Bank will randomly hold it as a fraud check. Other people, it goes in instantly. With withdrawals, some of our withdrawals are automated. So some guys will get their withdrawals within a couple of seconds. And then other withdrawals are manual. So it depends which bank we're actually sending you the money from. So what this does create is we can have a guy that gets his withdrawals in seconds for 10 times, and then the 11th time he has to wait a couple of hours, which kind of frustrates the clients. But we are constantly working on these systems. So, for example, our NetBank account that we pay our clients out of is not automated. So we have people there actually physically processing these withdrawals. And, you know, we have to balance between the different accounts because sometimes the balances get different, and then we have to send those withdrawals. So we have got what we believe is the best banking infrastructure. But NetBank, as you know, we are the only cryptocurrency exchange in South Africa that has a NetBank account. And they are not prepared to give us the automation yet. They are still taking a wait and see approach. So I hope that clears up some of what's going on behind the scenes.
Cool. Thank you, Richard. We just get so many compliments, and that's why I brought it up. I mean, I see Andrea on the chat box saying that we now forcing you to upgrade your server because of the amount of business that we sending you. But I mean, that's the least of our problems. But thank you for investing into the infrastructure and the time and effort, and for your people being on the call. I've seen 1 or 2 names on the call that I know that I talked to in your office. So thank you for that. We really appreciate it, Richard, and the commitment from Altcoin Trader to our team. I mean, thank you for that. But I see, Jason, I see that you unmuted yourself.
Yes, Donnie, I just want to bring up one of the questions that was asked a few weeks ago, and it's a debate around the pairings on Altcoin Trader where you sell into XZAR. Is that XZAR the Rand, as in fiat, or is it your stable coin?
It's a very interesting question, and it is the stable coin, right? So everything on Altcoin Trader is traded with a stable coin, and that we did a number of years ago. And a lot of people just never noticed. They just like, oh, well, they just carry on. But that gives you a lot of advantages that we have foreseen in the future. And I don't want to sort of roll them all out now, but one of the many advantages is, let's say, for example, that the tax law comes out and says, if you switch back into fiat at any time, it's a taxable event, right? Then if you have switched into a stable coin, you theoretically haven't switched back into fiat. I don't know how the taxman is going to consider that, but it is a very valid point. In addition to that, we are not allowed to offer interest on rands because we are not a financial institution. We are, however, allowed to offer interest on a crypto. So XR, going into EasySafe, we are fully within our legal rights to pay interest on a cryptocurrency. And that is just the tip of the iceberg of the advantages. Now, at the point of withdrawing, XR is converted into South African Rand, and that is what hits your bank account. So really, from a user's experience, it really means nothing. It's all rands, or the stable coin of rands. But the fact that you can withdraw XR into either an Ethereum wallet or into a FNB or standard bank account is the functionality behind that. And we are going to see this type of thing more and more. I mean, if you look at Binance, for example, you can deposit Bitcoin in about 3 different formats. You can deposit many different formats of coins, and they all come out into a single balance. And that's also what you're going to start seeing with Altcoin Trader more and more. Very soon, XR on the Binance chain. Then when you deposit rands, you'll choose BNB chain, Ethereum, or our traditional fiat. So I hope that answers the question.
No, thanks, Richard. I suppose, obviously, when you deposit rands, the opposite happens. So you convert the rands into XZAR.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
Cool.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Richard.
Jason. I see that Javu said that he just, while we were talking, has locked up some of his Bitcoin into EasySafe, and it took him 10 seconds. So
very nice.
That's just the case. I mean, that is how simple it is, because once you click the button, and I was going to take the Mickey out of Javu and say, Javu, you're clicking very slow on your mouse, because it's a mouse click and it's done. So, but I'm just tongue-in-cheek, Javu. But that's truly how simple and easy it is, ladies and gentlemen. And Marius, you haven't unmuted yourself yet, or are you not going to unmute yourself?
No, I'm here, Donnie. I'm listening. It's great to see what Richard is doing. Now, I see that we've got a question here from a guy from Ireland. I actually know him. I'm living in Ireland, and how could I invest? So I don't know if you can maybe answer that, Richard.
So, yeah, absolutely, Marius. Altcoin trader, although we don't make it very public and it's not very obvious, but you are not restricted by borders. So anyone can, join altcoin trader. It doesn't matter what country in the world you're in. We are still going to ask you for the same documentation. We're going to ask for either a passport or an ID and a proof of residence. Then normally we find for international people, it is not always easy because you really can only deposit, your crypto and withdraw your crypto. You don't have access to a South African bank account. But what you do have access is to the full range of the EasySafe product. So you certainly can earn interest. And I think that might be a catalyst to attract a lot more international people. So by all means, you can tell your friend that he is more than welcome to join Altcoin Trader. The only possible restriction he has is that he might not have a South African bank account. And that could be a hurdle, but he can't deposit fiat. He can't withdraw fiat out of the country. That is one of the rules that the Reserve Bank have made clear to us. So in other words, if he sells his Bitcoin and tries to withdraw the rands out of the country, that is not allowed. He can certainly withdraw these Bitcoins. He can withdraw his USDT. He can withdraw his XR. He can withdraw any of the cryptos. And he can deposit his dollars, his euros, whatever currency he has in his country. But that is a wire transfer. And we know that that is, to say the least, a painful process when you send money internationally. But it can be.
Thank you, Richard. And yes, I have citizens from other countries, not South Africans, that are very interested in your USDT EasySafe, because for them it's like taking candy from a baby, because they don't get those kind of numbers. But I see that we have another question here that I would like to just look at, and that's from Minar. Hello, Minar. I haven't seen you in quite some time. Will we be able to trade between crypto pairs in the future on Altcoin Trader, or we will always have to go back to a stable coin to get into another crypto, Richard?
So, Donnie, you will see on our platform, even now, we have USDT and Bitcoin, and that pair almost never gets used. And the reason for that is purely because as a smaller South African exchange, we don't have the volumes and we don't have the liquidity on the exchange. So really, that is a question. It was something we were keen to roll out. We were interested to see what that would do to the arbitrage price, when you're buying Bitcoin with USDT. And that other trading pair is there. But if you look at the volumes, they are very disappointing. So to answer that question directly, absolutely, I would love to roll out multiple pairs, but what we've seen is that there's just not the appetite for that on our system. So that is something that will certainly come in the future as we get more and more volume and more traction on the exchange.
Richard, I will tend to argue that maybe your Binance chain adding to there might awaken some people to some trading with some of these pairs, because then it will be simpler to move it. But yeah, I hear you, and thank you for that. And we really appreciate what you are doing for our community, and what you're bringing to the party, and the amount of work that you guys put in, and the time, energy, and effort. And for you, it is a hobby. It's a long time, not a work anymore. Otherwise, you would not have put in the hours. You're not watching the clock. You're not watching the boss. You just do something that you love to do. And that is what we benefit. And we as the community are the beneficiaries of you actually enjoying what you're doing with crypto. So Richard, tell us a little story. Just give us something peculiar about yourself and crypto. Tell us how, what, why, what's the story? There must be a story somewhere in there. Why do you like this? Why don't you like this? Why do you do this? Why do you spend the hours? There must be in there. There must be a story in there. Apart from that, you have some time to play around with your skateboard in your parking lot. But tell us a little bit about Richard. We always talk crypto and altcoin. Let's talk Richard for one moment.
Okay, I'll definitely do that. But Donnie, just before we go into that, there's 2 quick points I want to make. The first point is I saw a question on the chat about a referral system. Guys, we do have a very limp referral system, which we're trying to revitalize, but it was built around a model of much higher fees. And what has happened and what has hindered the launch of our referral system is that we have constantly been dropping fees. And I think that is not only on altcoin traders, exchanges around the world have also been dropping fees. And it is probably a good thing because we've passed the stage where exchanges can make these huge fees from simple trades, with technology and how things are rolling out. It should become cheaper and cheaper. So the referral program, it is something we're not actively working on it at this stage. We are actively working on the server upgrade and the loans and the Binance coin and the interoperability of the coins, but it's certainly not something that we've forgotten about. And it will at some stage roll out. And it will roll out in a way that if someone that is you signed up in the past, you can convince to click the link, they will fall under you. So we're going to try and make it backward compatible on condition that that person acknowledges that you signed them up and they would actually have to take the action. So that's the referral thing. And then also, as far as the community goes, guys, we are very much in touch with what the community says, the positive and the negative. So that's how a lot of coins have been listed on Altcoin Trader by demand from the community. And it might be a simple thing as, hey, when you're listing Binance coin, when you're listing Polkadot, and those type of comments. So we do try, obviously, when you ask for a coin that I've never heard of, your comment doesn't hold much water. But when we see a constant theme, we try and accommodate the community as much as possible. Donnie, to tell you stories about myself, I mean, I've got lots of stories, a lot of things that people don't know, and I normally like to drip them out bit by bit. But for a large part of my life, for 6 years, when I was out of the army, I was a security guard. A lot of people don't know that. I really battled to find work. I didn't have a university education or anything like that. So the only job that was available was security guard. So I did that for 6 years. Unlike a lot of the guys that were with me, we worked night shift. They would all watch TV and do crazy things. I used to study programming. So I had no formal programming. And even to this day, I have no formal programming education. I have an excellent book and YouTube programming education, which came from night shift as a security guard. So there's a bit of a story that you might not have known.
Awesome. Well done. And those are the kinds of things that just makes it even more special. Thank you, Richard. I know that you have a serious handicap that you've been through army with Marius Adams in your platoon. So Marius, maybe you would like to say something about it. And that's a handicap to any person. I mean, how did you get through army with that guy? I mean, maybe he carried you once or twice.
I can't remember if Richard carried me or I carried him. So yeah, the last time we had lunch together, I actually watched Richard like this, and I thought, I know this guy from somewhere, and I started asking him where in the army and what times, and then we actually realized that we were in the army together. So yes, Richard, I still have this photo that I need to make a copy of us in the army.
Nice.
Yeah, I can see every time I go visit Marius at his office. In his office, there's a platoon photo, and Struus Bob, there is a Richard D'Souza on that photo. So Richard, we will still get you a copy of that photo. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the evening. Any last comments? Richard, last comment from you.
Johnny, before Richard comes on, you haven't asked him about his employee that bought a Ferrari last week with 2 Bitcoin.
Ask him.
Richard, do you know about that?
Yeah, I do know about it. And that was the video on my YouTube channel. For those of you that don't watch my YouTube channel, just please go there. It's RADS Act. And that's simply my initials and the company's initials. But Frick was with me in the days when we were earning almost zero money. We had a programming company called NetSpace. And he has stayed with me through thick and thin. He is at this stage a partner and part owner of Altcoin Trader. And he decided to spend some of his earnings, and he actually went and bought the first Bitcoin, the first Ferrari in South Africa that's ever been purchased with Bitcoin. A huge news for crypto adoption, something that we're very proud of. And he bought it from a company called Ferris Motors, which are accepting Bitcoin, XR, and USDT. And once again, we are extremely humbled that a company like this would accept the South African stablecoin, a coin that is grown out of South Africa, purely based at this stage with Altcoin Trader. But it was just a really humbling. The owners of Altcoin Trader now owns a Ferrari. I'm sad to admit.
Richard, but just go back 1 year. This time last year, if somebody said to you, you can buy Ferrari with 2 Bitcoin, would you believe it?
I would never have believed that, because it's absolutely.
And you go
look,
back.
I mean, we always hoped and we were optimistic, but I think that one thing is sure: in the future, people are going to go, "Are you mad? Why did you spend so much? 2 Bitcoin is ridiculously expensive for a car."
Absolutely. And you go back to
the use the DeFi loan. It depends whether you use the loan or not, Richard.
Absolutely. That would have been my way. That's what I suggested.
And you go back to the poor guy that bought a pizza with 10,000 Bitcoin. Hey, he must be crying. Thanks,
well, I promise you, Jason, soon we're going to have the story about, the guy who bought the Ferrari for 2 Bitcoin. So soon that will be the story and not the 10,000 Bitcoin for a pizza. Thank you, Jason. Craig, last words from you.
No, nothing. Always a pleasure. Thanks. Love hearing your energy and seeing what you guys are doing. And as you know, we push at every opportunity we have. We're pushing Altcoin Trader, and rightfully so. Thanks a million.
Cool. Thank you, Craig. Lee, I see that you're unmuted.
Yeah, I wanted to say, wow, thank you very much, Richard. Thank you to the community. I love this. And it's been a great pleasure to be here. It has been a long time I haven't been here, so great. Thank you, guys.
Cool. Thank you, Lee, for visiting us. Marius, I see that you're unmuted.
Yes, Daniel, while we're on course, I just want to make an illustration for the new guys. Don't try to start with cryptos in the 5th gear. Go and educate yourself. I always love what Craig says. If you take your pennies from the pocket and put it in your mind will give you the dollars. Start with your 1st gear, 2nd gear, 3rd gear, 4th gear, and 5th gear. Go through the education, go through the trainings, go through the growing pains, and you will make a huge success.
Cool. Thank you for those wise words, Marius. Really, they were needed tonight. Richard, last words from you.
Something, guys, I'm always pushing these DeFi loans, and something that I think we forgot to mention with a DeFi loan and the advantages. A DeFi loan is a non-taxable event. So a lot of people making a lot of money in cryptocurrency. Remember, you do have to pay your taxes when that profit is realized. And one way of not realizing that profit and using the benefits of your wealth is to take a loan, a non-taxable event, and do whatever you want to, even to the point of buying more crypto, which I guess just compounds the wealth, but compounds the tax problem at the end of the day. Remember, the wealthy never swap one asset for another asset. They simply leverage the existing assets to gain more wealth and more assets. That's it from me. Thanks very much for having me on tonight, Donnie. We really appreciate the ability to share with your community.
Thank you, Richard, and we appreciate you on the call. If I can quote, with having Richard, the Souza of Altcoin Trader on the call, if I can call another guy on the same pain, same level, he called himself Michael Saylor. I don't know if you heard of him, the guy from MicroStrategy, and he's got a famous quote that I absolutely adore. I love this quote. They asked him, do you have to put all your money in crypto, in Bitcoin? And he said, no, you don't have to put all your money in Bitcoin, only those money that you want to keep. So, ladies and gentlemen, with those wise words, thank you very much for being on the call. Richard, please send our regards to your office and give them some love and tell them that we absolutely
thank them for the effort they do for us as a community. We really appreciate that. And thank you for what you're doing. Go thank your fellow directors of the company, which we all know. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Lee. Carl, I see that you've been on the call, but you never unmuted. Jason, our subject matter expert on crypto trading at the Crypto School. Thank you for being with us tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish you green candles for this week. Have a good one. Cheers.